All right, so let's start with Alex. So, Alex, how long have you been with the charity, Alex?
About 18 months.
Right, so just about the same time as the Harvey Weinstein scandal cropped up, and since then we've had a huge number of different headlines.
Yeah.
Tell us about the biggest challenges facing you as the CEO of the TV and film charity, and how you've decided to prioritise some of those solutions.
There's lots of opportunities, in truth. So we, as a charity, have been around for a very, very long time, but you may not have heard of us because we've kept a pretty low profile. So last year we relaunched as the film and television charity. I think my colleagues very sneakily put a leaflet on all of your chairs, so we'll tell you a little bit more about us. We're here to support people who work in film and television. We launched the film and TV support line last year, and this year we're doing bigger things around mental health, which is what I want to talk about. Before I do that, I want to make 3 points about mental ill health in our sector. The first is that we ignore it. The second is that we enable it, and that we then legitimise it. So, the idea that we ignore it, we know that 1 in 4 people in the general population experience mental ill health every year, and 1 in 6 report experience a common mental health problem in any given week. You see lots about it in the media, particularly this week during Mental Health Awareness Week. Many of our organisations will have mental health strategies, might have mental health first aiders, and I think, as you're going to hear much better than I can put it tonight, we've now got some fantastic on-screen portrayals of mental health, and there's a growing body of evidence that shows the impact of that on society at large. Fantastic. What we haven't done is turn that gaze in on ourselves as an industry. We know nothing of the prevalence and nature of mental health within the TV sector. And actually, I was talking to Julia, who will come on to yesterday, and she said, I can't really find anything out about mental health in TV. And I said, no, it literally doesn't exist. There have been studies done in Australia and Ireland, and if you can bear me being a bit of a stat head for a second, I'm going to tell you that in Australia, a study in 2016 found that in the general population, the incidence of moderate to severe anxiety was 4%. Within an industry sample, it was more than 10 times higher than that. It was 42%. The incidence of moderate to severe depression in the general population was 3%. In the industry sample, it was 17%, 6 times higher. The incidence of suicidal ideation in the last 12 months was 2%. In the industry sample, it was 19%. If those were true in the UK, those would be really alarming statistics. But we honestly don't know what the situation is. Mental health has been ignored as a serious issue for our industry for far too long. So the idea that we enable it, the outpouring of revelations in the wake of Weinstein that Caroline mentioned earlier, woke us all up to bullying, sexual harassment and bullying within our sector. And I think we all like to think the scales have fallen from our eyes and we've taken up arms to prevent anything like that from happening again. We've learned a lot about the effect of our industry's power structures on people and how it lends itself to bullying. What we haven't done is turn that into a proper examination of the mental health effects that come with it. And in the meantime, we know that we send people off to work very long hours, often away from home, to tight deadlines, in newsrooms where they're exposed to traumatic material, where they're in work one moment and out of it the next, never being able to commit to family and friends. 2/3 of the industry is freelance, like Caroline, where life can be exciting but precarious. Is that fair?
Yes.
You know, the phrase we hear time and time again is there is no HR department, you're on your own. There's rarely anywhere to turn to talk to without risk of being seen as difficult and jeopardising your next gig. So you keep your game face on and you shut up. So the third idea I want to mention is that we legitimise mental ill health. And I'm going to tell a little story of a chief executive of a very well-known production company, who I'm not going to name, who said to me when I was talking to him about mental health not long ago, years back, someone asked me what the secret source of our business was, what the secret to our success was. And I said, we take mad people and turn them into money. I think there's a really pervasive idea within our sector that you have to be living life close at the edge to produce your most creative work. And that by allowing the trope of the mad creative genius to persist, I think we tacitly condone mental ill health as allowable or even worse, necessary for creative success. So what can we do? Well, I say that the time has come for the industry to grasp the nettle of its own mental health. I'm pleased to announce that the Film and TV charity is launching a major new programme of work to research and take action on mental health, within the sector, which will start in June. Now, it's clear people love working in television. It's a joy, it's a privilege, but it can also be tough. We know that. Those are the stories we hear every day as a charity. The stress, the strain, the toll it takes on bright and brilliant people. In early 2017, a location manager by the name of Michael Harm took his own life. If you don't know Michael or of Michael and you've got your phone on you, please Google him, Michael Harm, location manager. You'll see his face looking back at you. I didn't know Michael, but shortly before he died, he left messages for friends and colleagues saying that he hadn't felt supported by his own industry. That person approached us, and that provided a catalyst for the launch of the Film and TV Support Line that we introduced last April. It's so far taken over 2,000 calls and helped 1,000 people with matters emotional, practical, and financial. But this year we want to go much deeper and understand what's really going on with the mental health in our sector. So we're launching this original piece of research in June, an industry wellbeing survey. So my request to you all today is please to follow us on Twitter at Film TV Charity and complete the survey when it comes up, because we really want to get a comprehensive picture of the state of mental health in our sector. And we're then convening an industry task force on mental health with the support of the Secretary of State, Margot James, to steer and challenge that work and turn our findings into a practical plan. We want to work with industry to face into this issue and provide some powerful responses. Michael asked for the industry to do better. We want to work with the industry to rise to that challenge.
There we go. Thank you very much.